What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. If you are new, my name is Jess. I'm a recovering addict who also served time in prison. Today's video is going to be my last day of prison video. I was actually inspired to make this video because my girl, Christina filmed this video for her channel. If you have not seen that video, I will leave it in the description box down below. But I just thought, man, this is such an interesting video to make because all of our prison experience on our last day was probably a lot different. So if you're a prison YouTuber, I would love to hear the story time for all the prison channels. I wanna know what your last day was like. So before we get into today's video, I just have to say the reason I'm making this video is to maybe inspire someone to go down a different path than I went. Prison is not cool, it's not fun, it's not okay. Breaking the law is not something that you should do. I also want my channel to be a place of hope for recovering addicts. Sobriety is possible. Addiction is not a death sentence, and I'm living proof of that. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. One more thing, look at this sweater. I know, it says boo on the sleeve. It's so cute. I got it at Target for like 20 bucks and I'm obsessed with it. It was the last one too, and like I probably would have shanked someone for this. I'm just kidding. I would never shank anybody. Just joke. Relax, internet, calm down. Okay, so my last day in prison. Y'all, ooh, okay. So I kind of want to start with this. When you have a release date, it's probably best that you don't tell a lot of people that you're getting out. Now this, this is up to you. You can decide if you do find yourself in that situation. You can decide who you tell. You're probably going to have a little small group of people that you associate with. Some people would call them friends. Some people would call them acquaintances, whatever. So you just have to be careful who you tell that you're leaving. And I can't even stress this enough, you guys. I have seen... This story time might be taking a turn, but I have seen someone literally take away someone's release date. Like, how can you do that, Jessica? Why would someone do that? Oh my God, what are you talking about? Listen, I was in an open barracks one time and this girl was very excited that she was getting out. She was a first timer. She had, she was there for probably 2 years, so she was a short timer, but she was also a first timer. She was very excited. She was talking on the phone to her husband or boyfriend or whoever, and she was just really excited, like, I can't wait to see you, you're gonna pick me up, this is the time, like, yay, like, so excited. And I get it, like, it is an exciting thing. It's also a very nerve-wracking and stressful and like crazy, like anxiety filled moment, which I'll get there. But she was so excited, and she had been excited for about a week or two. And one of the girls in the dorm had been, I don't really know how to explain it. She had been getting in trouble on purpose, kind of, to go flat. She didn't want to do parole. She just wanted to go flat. So she was never a class 1. You have to be a class 1 to be released from the last facility that I was at. She was not getting her class. She was always staying in trouble, always like doing the girlfriend thing, and like she was whatever. She was always getting written up for one thing or the other, but it was kind of obvious that she was doing it on purpose because she wanted to go flat. Anyway, the girl that was getting out was on the phone with her husband. She's really excited, I mean, which I get, but she also had no idea that this girl was not playing with her. She was done hearing about it. She was frustrated with it. She didn't want to hear this girl talking about leaving and who's gonna get what property of hers. Like, she just had enough. She had enough. And you could tell that the girl that was always getting in trouble, she had a hard life. You can just kind of look at some people and just know, like, man, they've had it rough. I'm not making excuses for her. Like, this is a shitty thing that she did. But the girl that was getting out was on the phone. The girl that was always in trouble walks up to her and just punches her in the face, punches her in the side of the head. And then she gets the other girl to fight back with her. So now you're both fighting, you know what I mean? And there are some prisons that, like, if you throw the first punch and the other person was just defending themselves, maybe the person defending themselves won't go to lockup, but you never know. You never know how the COs are gonna write that up. When the COs came in, they're both fighting. So I watched this go down and I couldn't help. You can't help when you see that go on. You just can't. I see the cops come in and break them apart, cuff them up, and take them to lock. Now, in this open bay dorm, there was the hallway, but there was a lot of glass, so we could see them walking through the hallway. This girl looked shocked, upset, like she didn't even know what just happened, And I'm just like, you lost your day. Like, this sucks. I could just see that look on her face, like it's starting to click, like, oh my God, I'm going to lock, I lost my day. And she did. People will take that release date from you. I'm not playing. This is not college. This is not summer camp. We're talking about prison, and people will take your day. So if you ever find yourself in that situation, don't tell people when you're leaving. Now, to get back on track with my last day, I was released from a program barracks. I was also released on an EPA. Now in Arkansas, that means that it's overcrowded and you're gonna get released out early. Men typically get released a lot earlier than women because the male prisons are more crowded than the female prisons. However, that is starting to change. But when I was there 5 years ago, you could get out on an EPA if you were a female, but it would be like a week or two. Like, you're not getting a ton of time. I have seen men get released 8 months early, 9 months early, 10 months early. So I did hit the EPA, but I was only gonna get out 2 weeks early. Now I had nowhere to go, you guys. I had nowhere to go. I also had no ride. So I had to figure it out. A friend of mine who I still talk to this day, she got out before me and she promised to come pick me up. But that's something that you can't promise. Like, you can't guarantee that. Like, the girl that promised me that ride was a first timer, and I told her, like, girl, don't make this promise if you can't keep it. Like, this is really serious. You don't understand. Like, don't tell me you're gonna show up and then don't. I was trying to tell her that, but I was also trying to get her off the hook. Like, don't feel obligated to come help me because life changes. Life moves so fast when you get released. So I don't expect anything from you. I don't expect you to help me at all. But she did. She wrote me. I think she even sent me a little bit of money at one point. So she really looked out for me, and I do still talk to her to this day. So she was coming to pick me up, but I still had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to go. So another inmate gave me her parole address and said, you can just parole to my house. When parole calls, I will tell them that you can come here. So I didn't even know if that was gonna work. Parole granted me release, but I still was like so nervous because I had an out-of-state warrant. So my last day was hard. I watched other women leave in groups because of this EPA, and I, for some reason, was released by myself. So that night, I am pacing back and forth. I'm in a program barrack, so I felt safer. Like, no one wants to lose their program and tee off with me. Like, so I kind of felt safer than I would in a different, like a non-program barracks. My cellie was a lifer, and she was in on a capital murder charge. And she just reminded me, like, listen, New York, you gotta do it right this time, because you are just one mistake away from spending the rest of your life right here with me. You were just one mistake away. You're lucky you didn't pull the trigger when you were running the streets. Don't go running the streets again. Do not do that. And you know, that always resonated with me. And I was always the kind of person that wanted to hang out with people that were older, people that were more wise, people that were more intelligent, people that are more successful out of prison. But I want to hang out with people that can teach me something, that I can learn something from, people that'll help me stay on my path, stay focused. You know, she was trying to give back every day by working in that program barracks, by helping me, you know, just by giving me little quips and little bits of knowledge. She helped me change my mindset. She wasn't the only reason, obviously, but you know, we meet people for a reason, and I've taken something from these people that I've met along the way and incorporated these little life lessons along the way in my own journey. So I remember talking with her that last night, and I was nervous. I couldn't sleep. I was really stressed out. Every little noise, I was just like, you know, like jumping out of my almost sleep because I couldn't sleep. And I can tell that I'm kind of annoying my cellie because I'm up. I was on the top bunk, and it was a closed cell. I'm up and down. I'm pacing back and forth. I'm looking out the window. I could tell that I was driving her crazy, and she just wanted me to chill out. But I couldn't because I don't even know where I'm going. Yeah, this girl said I could use her address, but I don't know what's gonna happen when I show up. So I still had to go to my classes for this program barracks in that morning, and people are kind of whispering because you couldn't like talk loud in this program barracks. People were like, oh, New York, time, are you ready? Are you excited? And they're being really nice to me. And I'll always be grateful for that because I've been released before and I've been like, it hasn't been that positive. So finally they call my name. And I walked upstairs to get my stuff, and all of my belongings consisted of prison sweatpants. I didn't even have shoes. I had shower shoes. I couldn't afford Nikes and the pen, a Bible, and a little bit of mail. That is all I owned. So I go up to get my stuff. I've given away everything. I gave away toiletries. I gave away makeup that I had accumulated. Don't do that if you're going out and you have nothing. Keep your deodorant, keep your toothpaste, keep your shampoo. Like, I know it's shitty, it's grimy to some people. Some other inmates like want your stuff, obviously, but like, oh my God, I had nothing. I had nothing. Didn't have deodorant, you guys, nothing. So I get my stuff and I get my little buggy because you have to roll up the mat and all that stuff and take it into intake. So I'm sitting at the door for a solid like 25, 30 minutes waiting for them to call me out. And it's like, oh, I'm just sitting here. And I look back and I see my little group of people that I associated with. And I just remember getting sad, you know, just getting sad that I was leaving them behind because they're good people. I still talk to a couple of those girls too, to this day, because we had kind of similar stories, you know. Anyway, I got a little sad. So they finally call my name and I'm just like, oh my God, they're gonna tell me no because of my warrant. The cop finally pops the door and I'm thinking he's gonna tell me no, New York wants you, or no, you have this warrant or that warrant. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I was so nervous. So I'm waiting in the guard station. Now it's a 7 barracks per housing unit and it's like a little circle, octagon, whatever. So I'm like waiting there. Now there's the barracks door, the guard desk, another door. So I can't just walk out. I have to wait. They have to clear me throughout the prison. And the guard says to me, don't worry, Kent, I'll hold your mail. I'm like, thanks. Like, I get it. Like maybe that guard was just trying to encourage me or motivate me to not come back, but he was shitty. He was shitty with me. He's also an officer that had thrown my mail on the ground and destroyed some of my property when he was doing cell searches. So I'm just like, oh, whatever, just pop the door. So he pops the second door. Now you can't walk in the entire hallway. You have to wait for a gate to open. So it's just a whole process even to get to intake. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. Well, finally he pops the gate and I'm able to go to intake. They have nothing to dress me out in because I have no clothes and no one is in intake. Now remember I said other girls were getting released in groups. I was alone by myself and I think it was better that way because I had some time to think, but they're dressing me out, all that stuff, and they just gave me like this little green vest. I have my prison shirt with my number 711548, my prison sweatpants, it said 711548, and shower shoes. And I'm just pacing an intake, pacing for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours have gone by. I don't know if my ride is outside. I don't know if New York wants me. They didn't tell me that I actually get to leave. I'm just waiting and I'm waiting. Lunch trays come and I'm like, I can't eat. I'm shaking. I'm nervous. I'm pacing. No one's telling me anything. It's taking forever. I don't know if I'm actually going to go to leave. I don't know if I can use the phone. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, when you have out-of-state warrants and you're leaving prison, it's so stressful. So I'm just sitting there and standing up and then sitting there and standing up. And it's this whole long thing. And then finally they say, Kent to Sallyport. Sallyport is when you walk in and it's where inmates come in and it's where inmates leave. You can't just walk out the front door. I've never walked in a front door of a prison or whatever. So Kent to Sallyport, and I hear it over the radio and she pops the door for me and I walk up to Sallyport and I'm just overcome with emotion. I just can't even believe that I actually get to leave here because this has been my home for 2.5 years. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot of time, but it was. It was 1.5 years that I was without my daughter. A daughter I didn't know, a daughter I gave birth to in prison. I was terrified. I go up to Sallyport and this officer's accent is so thick I can barely understand him. We're in the southern Arkansas, and I don't really know what he's saying. But he basically said, your ride is here, walk out to there, walk slow. I was wearing all white except for a vest. Now, the guard towers have guns, so I had to walk really slow to the car, and I start walking, and I'm like, I don't see my friend, I don't see her at all, like, oh my God. He said, walk to the flagpole, very slow, and that felt like the longest walk ever. I just want to run out and start looking at the cars, like, where's my friend? Finally, I see her at the flagpole waiting for me, and I just start crying, and I want to run to her because it's like, I'm finally out, like, and you're here for me. I was just so overcome with emotion that someone had kept their word to me. And she's here. Ugh. So the first thing she said to me is, girl, you look homeless. And I said, bitch, I am. Like, I had nowhere to go. I had no clothes. I had nothing, but I was so happy to be free. So I get in the backseat of her car. Her man is with her. Her baby's with her. And I'm just so, like, I'm so overcome with emotion. So I got car sick within the first 20 minutes because I have not been in a car in 2.5 years, and it's like, so I'm car sick. But she's like, where do you want to go to eat? And I'm thinking of these places and I'm just like, I don't know, wherever you want to go to eat. And they picked a hibachi restaurant, a Japanese restaurant. So I got to see them make food with the fire and like the rice and the steak. And I was just so like thankful for this because I had not had real food in a long time. Not even just that, but I had not been out in public in a really long time. So before we got to the restaurant, she did give me clothes to wear, jeans, which felt so uncomfortable, and a shirt, which also felt super weird because I'm used to wearing like basically scrubs and pajamas. I mean, it's hard to explain what prison clothes feel like, but I was so uncomfortable in my own skin. I felt skinny. I felt uncomfortable and awkward. Like everyone knew I just got released from prison, which of course they don't know, but like I just felt so weird. So I kind of want to talk to you guys about the transition from prison to the free world. I showed up at this house that my other friend said that I could stay at, and I show up, there's a girl I was in prison with, plus the girl that lived there that was also in prison with me. Her son is in drug court, her stepdad is on parole. I'm like, I can't live here, all these felons here, like I'm gonna get violated. New York state parole and Arkansas state parole, two very different things. New York would have noticed, Arkansas didn't care. But I didn't know that. I just got really paranoid and I had to leave. So then I signed myself into a halfway house. My first night sleeping in the free world, I was anxious. I couldn't sleep. I was uncomfortable. I was waiting for the guards to come by and do count. I was really cold and didn't know that I could turn up the thermostat. There were days outside of prison I would forget to eat because no one's calling you for chow, which is weird because all inmates care about is like food. Like we want good food, right? Because it's something we can't have, but I would literally just forget to eat. I would have nightmares of fights that I got in while I was there. I would try to buy groceries when I finally started making money and had no idea what to get. I felt uncomfortable standing in line. I didn't want people too close. I didn't want people standing too close to me. I didn't like people walking behind me in aisles. I was extremely overwhelmed by how many options the grocery stores have. It's a whole process to readjust to society, and I struggled for a while. My addiction also kind of haunted me. It haunted me. Because I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin and because I had to learn who I was outside of the drug dealing, drug using Jessica that I used to be, it was a process. You know, when someone's like, well, what kind of food do you like? I don't know. What kind of music do you like? I don't know. You know, like I had to learn who I was outside of that world. I also had to learn how to be a mother. So there was a lot of weight on my shoulders when I was released from prison. I had a DHS case. I had parole. I was living in a halfway house, and I had to earn every single thing I had. I had to borrow shoes to get to my job that paid $7 an hour, and I was just happy to do that. When I finally bought a pair of shoes, I felt so good about myself, you guys. I was so happy that I bought a pair of sneakers. Every single thing I was grateful for. I used to think I was a hustler because I sold drugs, but now I know that I'm a hustler because I am the kind of person that lost everything and got it all back and then some. I used to sit in that prison cell and dream about the kind of life that I would live, dream about the kind of mother I wanted to be, dream about the kind of man I wanted to date. Could I even fall in love with someone? Like, could I even let someone in my life like that? Could I trust somebody? I thought about all of this. What kind of job would I have? What kind of skill set could I have? Why would someone even want to be my friend? Because all I've ever done is sold dope and guns. Like, who would want to even hang out with me? I sold myself so short. And I finally realized that my success and my happiness was my own responsibility. And every single thing that I ever dreamed about in that prison cell, I have now, and so much more. And so much more. I know that no one can come and take this from me. No one can take my family from me. Cops can't impound my car. Cops can't kick in my door and take all my stuff. I've earned this. I've earned all of this. And I'm so proud of myself. So if you are watching this video and you are still in that lifestyle, you can get out. If you're an addict, there is hope for sobriety. I am living proof of that. I have 7.5 years sober from heroin. If I can get clean, anyone can get clean. But it starts with you. You have to chase sobriety as hard as you chased your addiction. You have to chase success with that same discipline that you chased that negative world. You have to completely change it, and it starts with you. I feel like I've gone off on a tangent and this is rambly, but I just couldn't share that without telling you guys how blessed I am to have the life that I have now and how proud I am that I've come so far. I still have a long way to go. I'm not perfect by any means. I'm a human being, you know? But just because you go to prison does not mean it's the end of the world. You can change your life. You can turn it around. Just because you're an addict does not mean you can't get sober. So I really hope you guys took something from this video and enjoyed this video. I'm going to end it here before I start crying. Y'all know me. But I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay sober. Do not break the law. And I'll see y'all in my next one.